Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another trading card game video. Today we're going to be talking about another Kickstarter project for a trading card game that has actually been around for a while, and I've heard some news about it. But apparently they're having a Kickstarter with the game officially launching through the Kickstarter. And that trading card game is called Genesis Battle of Champions. Now this game has been around since, from what I read, around 2017, and they've had some trouble kind of breaking into the market, and it looks like they're hoping that the Kickstarter will kind of, help boost the game into the public eye, get more people interested into the game, get more LGSs to start carrying products, and, officially launch the game and have people excited about it. So I wanted to talk about it, maybe some of my concerns, what some of the things I like about it. Maybe, through this video, you'll find some things you like about it, and maybe we'll want to back the project. So let's go ahead and start with the initial video here. I know one of the things that I'm going to say here is that the initial video actually doesn't have any narration from the creator of the project. It doesn't tell you what the card game is, how to play the game, what they plan to do with the game, some history on the project. It's just like some history on the set. So that's definitely one of the things I would say that the creator needs to address. Is just, maybe change the video out for you as a person coming to us saying, hey, this is what I want to do with my product. This is why I need your help, etc., etc. That's typically what you're going to see in a Kickstarter intro video. But let me stop rambling. Let's watch the video, and then we'll keep going into it. So, I'm pretty sure most of you could probably agree that was a very generic video. Doesn't really say much about the game. That apparently is supposed to be lore for this set, because this I think is the third set for Genesis, but is obviously the official launch product. So this is supposed to be a set one, more or less. So let's keep going. So they start out with the story. Origins, a tactical collectible card game by Haunted Castle Gaming, with the addition of a 5x6 grid arena. So remember, this is a card game mixed with a tactical combat system. So imagine if a card game mixed with Warhammer. That's kind of what they're going for. It's a little more intricate than that, but that's kind of the best way to describe it. Anyways, Genesis merges the tactical concepts of classical games like chess with the experience of a collectible card game. When playing Genesis, you are your champion. You and your summons navigate the arena by moving, casting spells, and using techniques. Direction, distance, and awareness can make or break your plans. You win by defeating all enemy champions. You are defeated when you have 0 HP remaining, or when you have no more cards left in your timeline. Your timeline is just another word for your deck. A typical 2-player game will last for 15 to 30 minutes. And this is just basically saying it's for 2 players. A game lasts about 15 to 30 minutes. You need to be 13 plus, so if you're younger than 13, you need to click away from this video. Made in Canada. So Origins will feature 12 new champions. As far as I know, there is already a good amount of champions in the game. I don't know if there's any reprints in this set, if they plan to make older testing heroes not tournament legal. I don't really know what the stipulations is with this here, but they're just saying that this set there's going to be 12 new heroes to play as. The set will also have 152 unique cards, 4 new mechanics. No one really knows if these are like way different than the mechanics that already exist. Is this like mechanics on top of how the game is already played? No one really knows because the Kickstarter doesn't really say, unfortunately, here. And then I don't know if this like page is glitched here, like if there's supposed to be more. I don't know. It just kind of cuts itself. Then we go into the lore section. This is just basically a very similar video to the intro video. So there's nothing different there. And then this is basically just more of the story. So this is going to repeat some of the text that was in the intro video, but we'll go ahead and read it. As peace settles in the south of Jalara, in the north, a civil war has begun. For centuries, everyone knew their roles in Anahata. The elves determined the politics and laws. The fairies developed the education and technology sectors, while the humans ran the economy and agriculture. There was one other bloodline that was deemed unclean and unfit to live among the others, banished to Adhara, the slums of Anahata. These were the vampires. Life was peaceful behind the walls of Anahata until Kala, a vampire, was murdered in the street. This ruthless action and the Senate's reluctance to act have caused the city to become divided. The vampires and their advocates, led by Kasha, fight for their right to be treated as equals and for their past sins to be forgiven. The elves, led by Manot, and their disciples fight to restore order in Anahata and to maintain the integrity and values therein. So, I like that this game has a storyline. It has lore behind it. It has a world that the creators have built. Now, we, as new players, might not be familiar with this world, but it's better than not having anything. So, that's definitely a point in this game's favor. Grand Archive, as far as I know, didn't have any sort of story created yet. So, I like that this game has, you know, some flavor into it, you know? But let's keep going. Pledge levels. So, if you're a backer, the early bird backers, anyone who backs the project in the first 24 hours gets a alternate art Curine champion card. So you just get basically a promo for backing early. This is just some of the other pledges. So let's go ahead and go up and see what all the pledges are. So if you're an early bird, you can get 1 box for 95 Canadian. You get a booster box, you get a box topper, and you get the early bird promo. So early bird seems to looks like they get $5 Canadian off. I think US wise, that's like maybe 10 to 15 bucks off. So I'm not entirely sure what the conversion rate is there, but anyways, let's keep going. So they got 1 booster box pledge. If you want 3 boxes, that's going to cost you maybe about 250 USD or 280 Canadian. You get 3 booster boxes, 3 topper packs, an early bird promo. If you pledge about 500, you'll get 6 boxes, 6 topper packs, the early bird promo. It's just basically more and more stuff. It looks like if you're a content creator, you can pledge what looks like 600, which would probably be about 550 USD. You have to have 500 subscribers on your channel, and you had to have uploaded a video prior to November 1st, which unfortunately this YouTube channel does not meet that requirements, unfortunately. But you know, moving forward, we're going to talk about the game if we can. But a content creator package comes with 6 booster boxes, 6 topper packs, an exclusive Origins promo with your logo. That's interesting. It kind of seems like that's something that you would give to your subscribers to incentivize people who, you know, have been supporting your channel. That's something you can give away to them. So I like that they're rewarding content creators for sticking with them. And then they have a case bundle where you get what looks like the early bird promo, 6 booster boxes, 6 topper packs, 2 t-shirts, a game mat, and then a Jalara 2nd edition, what looks like a 2 deck set. which is pretty cool. But obviously, you know, the more you pledge, the more stuff you get. You know, that's every single Kickstarter. Now, they also, very much like Grand Archive, they have the brick and mortar pledges as well. So if you own a local game store and you're looking to get into this game, they do have packages for you. They have one where you can get about 24 booster boxes. You get an advertisement cutout for your store. And then, you know, the more you pledge, you get basically double. And then your very last one, you get some sort of promo that you can give to your players, or I guess keep in your store with your store's logo, which is pretty neat. So they also have a breakdown of what every booster box gives. So each booster box will contain 24 booster packs. That's very similar to Flesh and Blood. Each pack will have 2 rares, 4 uncommons, 8 commons, and 1 starter card. I'm assuming a starter card is like a champion? I'm not entirely sure there. 1 in every 7 packs will have an epic, which I'm assuming is like your rare in Magic the Gathering or mythic rare. And then 1 in every 17 packs will have a foil card. So I like that this game is very similar to Grand Archive, where they're trying to make foil cards a lot more exciting to open. I was never a fan of the way that card games eventually made every single booster pack give you a foil card. I'd like that both Grand Archive and Genesis brings back the excitement of foil cards. I like that a lot. The box topper that you get for backing this project is going to have a Kickstarter exclusive Electrical Storm alternate art promo, an epic rare from Origins in foil, a second random foil epic rare, a signed card from Origins, a sample card from Origins, or a pre-alpha card. So the box topper is essentially going to give you a promo, a mythic rare level card, I assume, and then it's, you know, a toss-up between another promo, a signed card from one of the developers, which I would assume would be very rare, or a pre-alpha card, which might have like the white backing, which is like the testing cards. So that would be a really cool chase card to get as well. I like that they're, you know, it's just basically more incentive to back the project. You get a lot of promos. And this game seems to love giving ways of getting promo cards to players. We'll talk about that a little bit more as we go on. So this is what the second edition 2-player starter kit looks like if you pledge enough to get the second edition kit. These are what the t-shirts look like. That's what the game mat looks like. And see, as you can see here, the grid is just basically how your cards move on the battlefield. But we'll be looking at a how to play video here in a second. That's what the booster box looks like. These are the stretch goals. So they're only asking for 15,000, which is not a whole lot. 15,000, it'll probably definitely get their first day. I can see that happening. At 30,000, you'll get a Kickstarter coin. 50,000, the booster box will have the company's branding. I didn't even think about how booster boxes have the brand, like the branding on the outside. Like, you buy a booster box of Pokemon or Flesh and Blood. Flesh and Blood says Legend Story Studios on the outside of it. Pokemon says Pokemon Company. You don't even think about how, like, I guess that costs extra money to do that. So in this case, at $50,000, they'll be able to put the branding on their booster boxes, which is pretty cool. At the 60K mark, all the way up to 170K, you're just basically going to get an extra foil promo card. I don't know if it's actually a promo. It just says it's a foil champion card. I'm assuming it's a promo. But you'll get extra cards if they reach those milestones, which is pretty cool. At $200,000, you can add on a deck box, a Genesis special deck box. I like products like deck boxes, card sleeves, or binders with the trading card game logo on it. I love getting that kind of stuff. So, you know, I'd grab a deck box personally. And then at 250K, you can get a alternate art card done by what seems like a pretty big artist. The artist has done work for Legend of the Five Rings, Pathfinder, Star Wars the board game, Magic the Gathering, Argatoria. So essentially, basically, if they hit the 250k mark, you'll get a really cool extra art card, which is nice. This is basically saying that the next set after Origins is called Invasion. If they get a certain amount of backers on this project, they'll open up where you can give them feedback, suggest cards, things like that. They also have stretch goals for Facebook, stretch goals for YouTube, and then here's some videos. So, like, let's check out the How to Play Genesis. This is narrated by DM Armada. He does a very good job on how to play the game. So we're going to watch a couple minutes of this video. I'm not going to show too much just because we could be sitting here for an extra 15 minutes. Plus, it's just better to probably go check out his video. But I wanted to give an idea of what the game looks like and how to play it to an extent. So let's go ahead and check out his video.
Genesis Battle of Champions is a tactical collectible card game in which you take on the role of a champion, battling against your opponent on a gridded board where you can both move around and attempt to cast spells, make attacks, summon allies to fight, all so that you can reduce your opponent's life points to 0. So what do you need to play? Well, first of all, you're going to need a champion, and there are a lot of them, so you can look over the champions.
So, just a quick note, if you're coming from Flesh and Blood, the fact that this game also has a champion mechanic based on your deck, you're going to feel right at home here. Because basically, your champion is your hero from Flesh and Blood. Every champion plays differently. Your deck will be vastly different depending on your hero or champion in this game. So if you're, like I said, if you're coming from Flesh and Blood, this game will definitely feel right at home. That's the vibe I'm getting here.
And find one that you think suits your playstyle. Next, you'll need to build a 50-card deck, which in this game is referred to as a timeline, with a maximum of 250 chi across the deck. More on chi in just a little bit. Your deck is going to be made up of creatures and spells and other little tricks that you can throw at your opponent, like special maneuvers that you can use. And interestingly enough, in this game there is no duplicate card limit. You can run as many copies of a specific card as you want within your 50-card deck. One more quick thing about deck building. Before you start building your deck, take a look at the champion that you picked and look down the right side of the card. Each champion has one or more affiliations they may be a part of. When building your 50-card deck, you may only use cards with those affiliations that match your hero in some way. So with that under our belt, let's take a look at the cards within the game and talk about what you're going to see on each type of card, starting with champion cards. Now,
so I like that you have no limits on how many copies of a card you can run in a deck. I almost feel like they'll probably run into issues where a card is just so good. Because, like, if there's no limit on how many epic rares you can add into a deck, to an extent, like, why would you not just run a ton of epic rares in a deck? But I guess the caveat to that is the chi limit. So the chi limit, I'm assuming, is every card has a chi limit or chi number indicated on the card, and you can only put in however many cards into your deck that will equal out to 250 chi. So if a card is very good and it's like 30 chi to add to your deck, that's pretty crazy. So you got to like pick and choose and theory craft how you're going to build your deck. Do you have less cards in your deck, but it's very powerful? Do you have more cards in your deck so you run less of a risk of decking out? I really like that about this game so far. But let's keep going. We're not going to watch too much longer. But I wanted to have DM Armada here explain some extra things about the game before we end it. And I say just go check out his video.
Now, as I said before, there are a bunch of different types of champions within the game, all with their own unique flavor, stats, and play style. But let's go over what you're going to find on each card. In the top left of every champion card, you're going to find the health in the red banner. It's got a heart with it. As you can see on Rain's card, she has 18 health. The blue banner next to that one is her starting aura, which is the amount of resources she has to spend on things like casting spells, using effects, or bringing things in to fight alongside alongside of you. The green banner next to the blue one is an energy reduction banner, and the number there basically allows you to do things at a discount. Some champions have energy reduction, some don't, but this will essentially reduce the cost of something that you're doing by that little number. The 3x3 grid in the top center is essentially an area of effect grid. It basically tells you what your champion can attack and where. The little silver arrow represents your champion and the way that they're facing, and any red dots within that grid represent where that champion can attack. The symbols on the right side of the card are the affiliations that your champion is a part of. As you can see, there are 6 different affiliations represented by 6 different colors and 6 different symbols, which makes...
Okay, I'm gonna stop the video there. So basically, he's just saying your hero is gonna have health, it's gonna have resource management, they might have an extra perk to where maybe cards cost less. This section right here is the most unique thing to the game. The tactical grid-based combat, basically every card is going to have what you can attack in front of you. Imagine a tactics game, or like I said, Warhammer. Obviously, we're going to keep going into the Kickstarter. If you want to learn more about how to play the game, definitely watch DM Armada's video. So far, I mean, like, just watching a minute into the video, you kind of get an idea. But I would really love to be able to play this game at my LGS. So I might have to talk to my LGS to potentially get in on this, sell some products, you know, get some players into it, and that's more or less what the company is looking for. But let's keep going here. They have their Discord link here. They talk about what YouTubers have talked about the game. Now here's the history of the game. So this is probably what should be at the very top, in my opinion, rather than like all the way at the bottom, but let's go ahead and read it. So Genesis was soft launched in 2017 at a small convention in Kitchener, Ontario called SkyCon. At that time, we did not know if the world was ready for a new collectible card game, let alone a tactical one. I kind of share his sentiment on that there, because back in 2017, the board game / TCG world was so vastly different. I don't think games like Flesh and Blood and MetaZoo would have survived back then. You got to remember, like, COVID kind of helped these card games really, you know, stand a chance, just because Magic has been faltering, so has Yu-Gi-Oh, so has Pokemon. People have been kind of itching for some new card game blood in the industry. So now that, you know, players like me are more willing to dive into a new card game, I can kind of see his worry back in 2017. So anyways, despite not having booster packs ready and our alpha starter kit selling for $75 a pop, we were happy to find out that we sold out of our initial print runs of 30 copies in that one event. From there, we started working with a small but passionate group of players to build and test the rest of alpha. We have continued that feedback process as we grew and eventually launched beta. Welcome to Jalara and Raise. However, the pandemic hit us hard. Pandemic hit us really hard, all of us. So I can definitely see that. Instead of admitting defeat, we decided to go down swinging. We kept trying to grow within Canada, and when that didn't work, we reached out to the stores in the United States. Eventually, we got our first US store, then we got another, and another, and another, and we were back on track. So it seems like the US LGS has kind of saved this game. So these successes led us to partner with a few distributors who bought all of our earlier first edition products. That is when we decided to launch Jalara 2nd Edition, a compilation product that held the best cards from beta, Welcome to Jalara and Raise, and would help new players get into the game. It was an amazing success. So this video here kind of shows, like, apparently there was a championship that was held sometime this year. The card game looks sick when it's being played by these players here. Let me see if I can find a shot. So, as you can see here, you know, there's just like some quick shots of players playing the game. So like that right here shows that, like, on the grid, you're summoning creatures that can move on this grid, and I really would love to play this game and just give it a shot and test it. The Kickstarter really doesn't do a good job, at least from what I'm seeing here, on selling the game. So that's definitely something that they, like I said, they need to address here. But yeah, I mean, apparently they had a tournament in 2021. Who knew? So apparently there is some local game stores that sell this product in the United States. Unfortunately, in my area, there is no stores that have probably even heard of this game. Why Kickstarter 4 years later? So when Haunted Castle Gaming started 4 years ago, we did not know what it would take to make Genesis. There were many unknowns and risks between designs, testing, manufacturing, distribution, player needs, and the retailer's needs. I was not willing to make those mistakes on someone else's dollar. However, since then, I have built strong relationships with awesome players, store owners, distributors, and content creators. We consider Origins to be the real beginning of our adventure. Everything we have done to this point has been about establishing our foundation and proving that Genesis is built to last. So it kind of seems like, you know, now that they've kind of tested the waters, had some sets, seen what the players like, they're really ready to kind of start pushing this game a lot. Which is a pretty good way of doing it. You know, like you got your first set that is, you know, it's just going to come out of nowhere and players don't know what the game is. Flesh and Blood went through the same thing. So I can kind of see why they're considering like their fourth set their actual launch. So let's go ahead and talk about the team here. So Assad Karashi, I'm probably butchering your name, man. I am so sorry. He is the Chief Executive Officer of Haunted Castle Gaming and creator of Genesis Battle of Champions. Assad has been playing collectible card games since 1994 and started designing his own game back in 2001. He graduated with a Bachelor's of Computer Science from the University of Toronto and then worked as a software quality assurance lead for nearly 10 years. During that time, he worked closely with several CEOs and learned how they started and grew their companies. He has applied these philosophies to Haunted Castle Gaming. He has elevated Genesis from a concept to an international game, being sold worldwide in over 80 local game stores and with 5 sets already in print. So, okay, so Origins, I guess, is their sixth set? Not entirely sure. It doesn't really say. And then he gives you, you know, how you can contact him. Next, we have Christopher Harnarine, Chief Sales Officer of Haunted Castle Gaming. Chris was one of the original members who helped Assad test and refine Genesis in 2011. Chris has 10 years of sales and customer relationship experience and uses that experience with the singular goal of making our partner local game stores succeed in every way possible. He has helped dozens of local game stores host open houses, build their communities, and lead them to have a great experience carrying and promoting Genesis. So it kind of sounds like I should talk to that guy. And if you're interested in trying to maybe get your local game store to host this game, he kind of seems like the person to talk to. Next, we have Alexander Miller, lead game designer for Genesis Battle of Champions. Alex has 10 years managing local game stores, building communities around collectible card games, and competing in major competitions for various card games. Before joining the game design team, he was instrumental in growing the Future League program, our sandbox testing environment where all players give feedback for upcoming Genesis concepts. Time and time again, he has proven that he will always advocate for the quality of the gameplay experience. So that's another thing too. You can apparently join their Future League program, which is more or less a testing, like think of it like a test server for an MMORPG. The Future League program allows you to test future cards and future sets and help shape how it's developed for balancing. At least that's kind of seems like what they're going for with the Future League program. It also gives how to contact him. Next, we have Damjan Veskey, art director for Genesis Battle of Champions. Damjan has been making amazing artwork and building his portfolio for 10 years. He started working on Genesis since Alpha, has set the standard that the art team inspires towards. From his first piece, Essence Drain, to creating all 12 champions of Jalara and doing various epic promos, Damjan has always brought passion, quality, and an outstanding work ethic. As the team has grown, he has hosted several workshops to help each member refine their skills and articulate ways to self-improve. He leads the art team with compassion, dedication, and unbounded enthusiasm. Man, I would love for him to sign one of my cards. He seems like a genuine person. And he's got a website here as well as a LinkedIn. And then finally we have Safi Hafiz Zadeh. I'm assuming that's how you say it. I'm sorry, gentlemen. I'm so sorry that I'm probably butchering your name. You'll have to forgive me. I am but a lowly commoner who only speaks English. I am so sorry. Anyways, he is the business advisor and mentor. Safi has 30 years of project management experience within the Loblaw organization. He has held positions such as senior manager of e-commerce, director project management and strategy, and senior manager operations. He has been Assad's mentor since Haunted Castle Gaming's inception and has guided Assad in building a company based on solid partnerships and best business practices. They have shared the belief that for Haunted Castle Gaming and Genesis to succeed, we must construct a solid business foundation through research, communication, and honesty. So that looks like the whole team there. Seems like a pretty solid group of people. None of them seem to have Magic the Gathering roots or anything like that, which is usually what a lot of people are looking for. But the game is apparently 5 sets in. It's got a little bit of a cult following. You got to hand it to them. They're at least trying to get the game out there. So, good on them. So shipping, all prices are Canadian. Prices are estimates. Exact shipping costs will depend on your country. So it looks like if you live in the US, most of the shipping is probably going to be about 15 to 20 bucks. Canadians the same way. If you live anywhere else, it's going to be about 50, which, I can't blame them there. That's just how it's going to be, unfortunately. Risks and challenges, just like any other project, there are inherent risks. Over the past few years, we have seen delays due to the pandemic and global shipping issues. This can lead to a longer than expected production time, blah, blah, blah. It's basically just saying, hey, this might happen, maybe it won't get funded, things like that. That's just the nature of Kickstarter. And then it looks like they're going to try and also do some recyclability, reusability for packs and stuff like that. And that looks like that's the end of the Kickstarter. They should probably list their website because I don't see a website link here. I might have missed it, but they do have a website where you can check out more information about the game. So this is the Genesis website. You have obviously the link to the Kickstarter. They have some more information about past sets, events, retail. You can check out all the cards. You can check out and see if there's a store near you. You can contact them. So that's based. I'm going to also list the website in the description below. So they do have a website. They also strangely have a Patreon, which I went ahead and joined in on, because it seems like I said earlier in the video, they're very promo happy. They tend to throw out a bunch of promos. So if you join their Patreon, they'll actually send you booster packs and promos for the alpha set. So that's kind of an interesting thing that you can do. So if you're interested in that, in helping the card game out a little more, you can also join their Patreon. I've never seen that with the card game before, but it's interesting. But their Kickstarter might be enough for you guys and gals, but that seems to be it. If you're interested in this card game, I'm going to list all of the relevant links down below in the description. Personally, I think I'm probably going to back this project as well, or at least talk to my local game store and see if we can't get something going to at least maybe get some other players interested in this game. I'm personally a big fan of tactical games, especially with board games, so I'm interested in it. I want to hear if you guys and gals are interested in this game. If you like this video, go ahead and like the video. If you want to support my content, go ahead and subscribe. Other than that, I will see you all in another video. Have a good one.